Hello, everybody. I wanted to make this video. It's a simple one. Why do I love flashcards? I'm a big proponent of flashcards. There are some people who do not think that flashcards work. So I'm going to give you some of the reasons I absolutely love flashcards, and I think they should be an important part of your study journey for passing the real estate exam. I'm basically passing any real estate comprehension test. So reading comprehension test, excuse me. Um, so the first thing that I'm going to say is it is a reading comprehension test. Okay. So what's really important is that you learn concepts out of context. So a lot of people say, oh, you got to practice questions. You got to do questions. Questions are good because questions help you understand and see these concepts put into context. Okay. So questions, yes, are important, but you have to think of it as a language, right? So if I gave you a sentence in a different language and you were learning this language, if you didn't understand that the words that were being used in that sentence, how could you understand what the sentence means, no matter how I throw the sentence out there? So really what you need to do is you need to be learning these concepts out of the context that they're put in a question. So again, both of them are important, but I think that flashcards and learning these concepts and being able to say, oh, that is this. This is what they're asking me. Helps you understand what they're asking you. Next thing, they're pocket size. I mean, unless you get Super Wumbo flashcards, I mean, they can go everywhere. Put them in your lunchbox. If you're working, you're going to school, doing something like that, put them in your brown paper bag. Have have a couple in the bathroom. I mean, they are literally pocket-sized little bits of information. So I love that. I love that about flashcards because sometimes, I mean, I have books everywhere. So books are always, always, always a staple, a part of my daily life. I'm absolutely literally carrying books around almost all the time. Um, that's not realistic. I don't expect people who are studying to be as diligent as that, to carry that book around everywhere. So guess what? You can shove a couple of flashcards in your pocket. They're pocket size. They go places. And because they're pocket size and because they go places, they are bite-sized little bits of information. They are not time-consuming. So if I wanted to sit here and teach you about property ownership, title, deeds, I could take a lot of time explaining that, going through some of the minutia. But really, if you want to skim the top of it and just kind of get into some of those, dip your toes into a little different corners of real estate, you could cover a lot of ground in a little bit of time. So a lot of students, and I say this also very, very, very important with students who are taking the week-long course or the 2-week-long course that's more like a crash course that's all day. I always tell those students, I'm like, you go to school 9 to 5, and then you come home and you probably have 3 to 4 chapters to study. And they always ask me, Stu, how are you going to do that? How do we approach studying for that? And life happens. I mean, I've taught those classes and I'm exhausted when I'm done with it. So I can imagine that for all this new information to be thrown at you, flashcards should be your go-to, your whoopee, your security blanket. It just should be that because it allows you to cover a lot of different ground in not a lot of time. So really, if you are not making flashcards a big part of your study journey, of your study plan, then you're making a big mistake, in my opinion. If you ever have any questions, I'm here. If not, have a great one.